The crystal in my chest stopped glowing the moment his hand touched it. I couldn't breathe, couldn't scream. The pain was so sharp it turned the world white. When I opened my eyes, he was holding my heart in his palm, literally. A glowing sphere pulsing with silver light, warm and alive, stolen from between my ribs. His eyes met mine, dark, endless, hungry. "You should have run," he whispered, his voice like smoke curling through shadows. "Now you're mine." My name is Evine, and I was born with something the world craves, a heart crystal. Not everyone has one. Only a few are born blessed, or cursed, with magic embedded in their very core. Mine pulses with healing light, rare and coveted by those who deal in power. Mages hunt us, warlords bid for us. Kingdoms would burn to possess what beats inside our chests. I've spent my entire life hiding in the border villages, moving from town to town under false names, covering my chest with enchanted wraps that dull the glow. My mother died protecting me. My father vanished trying to find a sanctuary that doesn't exist. And then I heard his name, Malik, the dark mage of the Ashen Wastes, a legend whispered in fear. They say he's stolen dozens of heart crystals, draining them to fuel his forbidden magic. They say he's immortal, untouchable, a shadow that walks through walls and tastes your fear before you even know he's there. I thought I was careful. I thought I was safe. I was wrong. He came for me on a moonless night. I felt him before I saw him. A pressure in the air, heavy and suffocating, like the world holding its breath. The wards around my room shattered without a sound. The candle flames bent toward him as if bowing. I grabbed the dagger under my pillow, but my hands were shaking. He stepped through the shadows like they were doorways, his cloak darker than the night itself, tall, broad-shouldered. His face was sharp and beautiful in a way that felt dangerous. High cheekbones, a strong jaw, lips curved in something too knowing to be a smile. But it was his eyes that pinned me in place, black as a starless sky, and yet they glowed faintly, like embers buried deep in ash. "Yvain," he said, my name rolling off his tongue like a secret he'd been keeping. "You've been running for so long. Aren't you tired?" My voice cracked as I commanded him to stay back. He tilted his head, studying me the way a wolf studies prey. "You don't mean that." I raised the dagger, insisting I did. My heartbeat stuttered. He didn't flinch, didn't stop. He moved closer, slow and deliberate, and I felt magic hum under my skin. My crystal reacting to his presence, pulsing wildly in warning. "You're trembling," he murmured, his gaze dropping to my chest where the glow was bleeding through my shirt. "Is it fear or something else?" I ordered him to get out. "No," he said, simply. The dagger flew from my hand. I didn't even see him move. One moment it was in my grip. The next it clattered across the floor, useless. He was in front of me now. So close I could feel the cold radiating off him, could see the faint scars along his knuckles, and the silver ring on his finger etched with runes I didn't recognize. His stare burned. "I could take it by force," he said softly, his hand hovering near my chest. "But I'd rather you give it to me." I told him never. Something flickered in his expression. Surprise? Amusement? Brave. Foolish, but brave. Then his fingers pressed against my sternum, and the world shattered. I woke in a bed that wasn't mine. Silk sheets, a fire crackling in a stone hearth, The scent of night-blooming jasmine and something darker, ash maybe, or smoke. My chest ached. My hand flew to it instinctively, expecting to find a gaping wound, but the skin was smooth, whole, except the light was gone. I sat up too fast, panic flooding my veins. My heart crystal, it was missing. The warmth I'd carried my entire life, the hum of magic that had been my constant companion, gone. You're awake. I spun toward the voice. Malik stood by the window, backlit by pale moonlight. He looked different here, in his own space, less like a nightmare and more like something carved from marble and shadow. He wasn't wearing his cloak, just a black tunic, unbuttoned at the collar, sleeves rolled to his forearms. In his hand, resting on his palm like an offering, was my heart crystal. It still glowed, still pulsed, but it was outside of me. You took it, I said, my voice hollow. I did, he confirmed. Then why am I still alive? His eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw something crack in that unreadable mask. Uncertainty, hesitation. I don't know, he admitted quietly. The honesty startled me more than the theft. He stepped closer, as if I belonged to him, and held the crystal out between us. I've taken dozens of these, drained them, used them, felt nothing. His jaw tightened. But yours? I whispered, asking what he meant. It fights me, he said, his fingers curling slightly around the sphere, and I felt it, an echo, a phantom tug in my chest. Every time I try to pull from it, it resists, like it knows it belongs to you. I told him it did. And yet, he continued, voice dropping lower, I can't let it go. Magic hummed under my skin, faint and stuttering, like my body was trying to call the crystal back, but it wasn't working. The connection was there, fragile as a thread, but broken. Why are you keeping me alive? I demanded, forcing steel into my voice. If you can't use it, why not just kill me and move on? He went still. Then he closed the distance between us in 2 strides, and suddenly he was right there, towering over me, his presence overwhelming. He reached out slowly, so slowly I could have stopped him, and his fingers brushed my jaw, tilting my face up toward his. His touch was cold, electric. Because, he said, his voice rough and low, I'm starting to think you need me more than I need your heart. My breath caught. His thumb traced the curve of my cheek, his gaze locked on mine, and I saw it. Hunger. Not for power, for something else. Something human. You're under my skin, Evan, and I don't know how to make it stop. I should have been afraid, should have pushed him away, but my heartbeat stuttered, and I didn't move. What do you want from me? I whispered. His lips curved into something dark and almost vulnerable. Everything. He kept me in that tower for 3 days. At first, I tried to escape. Tested the doors. Locked. The windows. Warded. The crystal. Still in his possession, glowing softly on a pedestal across the room like a caged star. But as the hours passed, something shifted. He didn't hurt me, didn't threaten me. He brought me food, left books by my bedside, even returned my dagger. Unspoken trust, or a test. And he watched me, constantly, like he was trying to solve a puzzle he didn't have the pieces for. On the 3rd night, I found him standing by the fire, the crystal in his hand again, staring at it like it had betrayed him. You're obsessed with it, I said from the doorway. He didn't turn. I'm obsessed with you. The words landed between us, raw and unguarded, I stepped into the room, my pulse quickening. "Then give it back." He said he couldn't. I asked why. He finally looked at me, and the pain in his eyes stole my breath. "Because the moment I took your heart, I bound myself to you, a blood curse I didn't know existed." His hand clenched around the crystal. "If I return it, I die. If I destroy it, you die. If I keep it," I finished his sentence. "We're both trapped." He nodded, jaw tight. "You didn't know." "No." His voice cracked. "I've stolen dozens. None of them fought back. None of them mattered." He crossed to me, desperation bleeding into his movements. "But you, Ivani, you're different. And now I can't breathe without feeling you, can't sleep without dreaming of you, can't exist without knowing you're alive." I told him that was the curse talking. "No," he said firmly. He grabbed my hand, pressed it to his chest where his own heartbeat thundered. "This is me. The curse bound us, but what I feel, that's real." Tears burned my eyes. "I hate you." He said he knew. "I should kill you." He said he knew. "But I can't." His forehead dropped to mine, his breath shaky. "I know." The tower exploded at dawn. Hunters, a guild of them, tracking Malik's magic, hunting for the crystals he'd stolen. They broke through the wards with brute force, fire and steel, voices shouting for blood. Malik shoved me behind him, magic crackling around his hands, dark and violent. "Stay back," he ordered. I protested, but he turned, his eyes fierce. "If they take you, they'll rip that crystal apart. You'll die." I told him that if they killed him, I'd die anyway. His jaw clenched. For a moment, he looked like he wanted to argue. Then he grabbed my face and kissed me. Hard, desperate, like it was the last thing he'd ever do. "Then we fight," he said against my lips. The door blew open, magic collided, the room became a storm of shadow and light, blood and steel. Malik moved like death itself, ruthless and precise, but there were too many. One of them lunged for me. I felt the blade before I saw it, cold, sharp, aimed for my heart. Malik screamed my name, and then he was there, his body slamming into mine, taking the hit meant for me. He collapsed into my arms, blood spreading fast across his chest. I cried his name, begging him not to leave me. His hand found mine, shaking. "The crystal," he gasped. "Take it. Break the curse." I told him it would kill him. "I'm already dead," he said. His smile was soft, sad. "But you'll live." Tears streamed down my face. "I don't want to." He whispered that I was a liar, and then his eyes closed. The hunters fled when the tower started to collapse. I cradled Malik's body, the crystal clutched in my bloody hands, glowing brighter than it ever had before. The magic inside it pulsed, wild and desperate, reaching for him, reaching for me. And then I understood. The curse didn't bind us to die. It bound us to choose. I pressed the crystal to his chest, my magic flooding into him, into us, weaving something new, something impossible. His eyes opened, dark, burning, alive. "What did you do?" he rasped. I smiled through my tears. "I chose you." His hand cupped my face, reverent and disbelieving. "You'll regret it." I whispered back, "Maybe, but not today." He pulled me down, his lips capturing mine, and the world outside shattered as our magic fused, two hearts beating as one. "You're mine now," he murmured, against my mouth. No, I breathed. You're mine. If you want to know what happens next, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Part 2 drops soon, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.